Hello everybody. Today I am going to go over this BiAmp Cambridge audio module I created. And so basically this is just a user module. And so if you double click it and go in it, it's just a container. The first page that we have here is the schematic page. This is where you will fill in the blanks. And so here I already have my blanks filled in for the Cambridge audio. And so if you were to look at this documentation and read through it, you would see that piecing these together equals the prerequisite, if you will, for pushing a command to the Cambridge audio. So here you'll fill in the blanks, and once you do, you will pop over to insert commands, right? And this is where the actual body of this will go. And then once that's all said and done, you can actually come over here and push the buttons. So in this example, I just kind of have them alternating. I wanted to make sure all 30 buttons worked. So the easiest way for me to do that is just, off, on, off, on, just alternating all the way down, just to double check my code and everything. So in this instance, we have it basically off, on, and what we're looking at here is this mute section. That's the only part that I'm manipulating here, but in this sound masking API, you could adjust the background level, the masking level, yada yada, and there's a little math conversion to do that, to actually get it over to dBs, and it's all, again, in that documentation, but right here, I just have muted, false, muted, true, so that's just going to trigger the zone above head, and so I doubt you can hear it, but right now, boom, this is muted, and if we were to take a look at the actual code itself, we could see, boom, we got the data, errors none, and again, I will just push command button 1, which is actually just here, right? Now we're unmuted, now we're muted, unmuted, and if we were to pop back in that code, you can see, boom, we're getting 200 responses the whole time, which is good. That's what you want. You don't want a 400 or a 500. That means it didn't go through. And just to show you some live feedback here, let me bring this window in here, try to squeeze these together. Might have to do a little bit of toggling back and forth, which is fine. But basically, here's the zone. I'm adjusting in BiAmp, right? And you can see the peak meter is high and screaming, and this will live update. So if I push this, it's going to minimize the window, but I'll bring it back up. So I'll push it, minimize the window, boom. And you can see right now, if we refresh, zone 2, it is actually muted. So let's unmute it, refresh, zone 2. Now it's not muted, but there is a way on here to, sorry, let me make this big real fast, just to see output list, zone 2. Sorry, I had this earlier. Zone list, audio source, or was this output list? No. System settings, yes. Output data. Here we go. Not confusing at all. So here it is live. I guess I let it sit on the page too long, so we'll mute it. Back in here. Boom. You can see it's muted. Go back into QSYS. Unmute it. Go back here. You can see you got levels again. And again, so you're not actually going to see these output levels if you were to adjust them here, right? The actual, negative 100, negative 200, you're not going to see those levels inside the QTX, which was the whole issue I was running into. You actually physically have to go to the amplifier and adjust those levels. So it might be a two-person job for the first get-go, and you might have to, write some numbers down to do some calculations and stuff. But for basic controls, this will do everything that you need it to do. If you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to me. But again, a lot of this is going to be in this API documentation here. I had to read through it a few times to get through it, but BiAmp can help you with that part if you need it, or even I can assist you. But from here, you could just plug in all the put commands, if you will, and this will make all the adjustments you need, and you can just push the commands here, restyle the buttons, whatever you want to do, right? Or in this case, I'm actually going to be triggering the commands because we want to do some ducking, right? So that's why I have this priority ducker here. And so if the ducking is active, we want to be able to mute it and then slowly ramp it up. So actually in my insert commands, I will have some different masking levels. I just need to work with my counterpart and see what levels are going to be, the minimum and maximum, and how we're going to ramp it and make it smooth. But you can constantly push the buttons and trigger this. So ramping is not going to be an issue. It's just what fashion I want to do. But there's 30 buttons, so between the 30 should be enough to do with the sound masking. And again, you can adjust, if you had 8 zones you wanted to do, you could add in 8 modules and just kind of fire them off that way, right? But you will need a unique zone ID per module, if you will, to adjust the zone. But thank you very much for watching. And again, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.